Hello and welcome to episode number 63 of the SilverFox Hustle podcast. And if you haven't done so, please follow us. We are everywhere on YouTube, Spotify, Apple Podcasts. Click on the follow button and subscribe button. Okay, and if you want to leave a comment for me and for my guests, please do so. Now, let's not waste time. Episode number 63. And I've got to tell you this story before I introduce him. I started this podcast like about nearly 2 years ago. And I wanted my guest to be on the show earlier on in the earlier episodes, but this guy has been elusive. I don't know whether I should use reclusive. I could actually, but thankfully he's here in the studio with me, and it's better late than never, right?
Yes,
now
absolutely.
He is a bona fide rocker,
right?
Rock star. He has been performing since the early 90s with the band Krueger.
That's right.
Performed at places like Europa, Sparks, Thumper, China Bar, Yello Jello, Rouge, Aquanova, the list goes on. Berlin Bar as well, the latest one.
Yeah.
He has had business ventures everywhere. We will talk about that later. This is a great story, the businesses especially. And I hate to say this, he is a diehard Liverpool fan.
Hey, we just beat his team just now.
Damn. Welcome to the SilverFox Hustle
Thank you
podcast,
so much.
Mr.
Thanks so much, bro.
John Molina.
Yes, sir.
How have you been?
I have been good. I have been lost actually.
Yeah.
Since the pandemic started about 2 years ago, right? Actually, it's about coming to 2 years already. Another 1 month will be 2 years. Ever since it started, right? That was exactly the same time that I sold my business.
Right.
So, which was the Berlin Bar.
Yes.
And then I thought that I could. I thought that it would pass. After a couple of months, just like the bird flu or something. Maybe after 2, 3 months, 4 months, it'll pass. So I thought it was a good time to take a break, and then see what I can do next lah. At that time.
Yeah.
But 2 years on, and we're still here. So everybody calls it the new norm. Everybody has adapted. But I haven't, because. For the simple reason that I've been doing this throughout my entire life, right?
Exactly.
Music has been my thing. I've done businesses here and there. I've done diving business. I've sold food, which we'll come to that later on. But in a nutshell, I've always gone back to the stage,
right?
And so it has been
tough,
more than challenging for me. Especially for me.
And I feel you, and I feel you and the band as well as other bands as well in this business. This business has been hit very
badly. Very badly.
And I feel for you. But let's not start off on a sad note. Let's build it up. But before I want to talk to you about your childhood days, right? But I want to ask you this: what is your secret to looking like how you do?
Bro, if you want dinner, just let me know.
No, seriously. And I don't want. It's okay if you reveal your age. I know your age, but what is your secret?
52.
Come on, tell me.
Actually, I really think it's. I've lived my entire, almost all my life, doing what I love doing. So I think that's really important. You need to have that passion that you're given. I was given. Obviously, I'm blessed with doing what I love to do. So I have not been caught in a corporate trap. And with all the stresses involved and all that. My life. I mean, obviously, everything has got its challenges and all that. But my life has basically been fun. Rock and roll, fun. A lot of traveling. A lot of
That's already an advice, really, right? Like love what you do what you love. And
that's really important.
And that's probably the secret of your youthful looks.
Oh, okay.
52, brilliant. No,
52.
No secret, nighttime.
Everybody knows that.
Right. Let's go way back, John. What were you like as a kid? Siblings wise,
I've got a sister. I've got a younger sister whom I love very much. We meet up every Saturday.
Great.
For makan and all that. She brings her kids over, and I've got a little daughter now. She's 4.5.
Beautiful.
And when I was a kid, it was a lot of laughter, and there was a lot of parties in my home. My dad used to host a lot of parties every week actually, or sometimes twice. Almost twice a week sometimes as well. And it's open door policy.
Wow.
So although it was a 3-room flat in a Tanglin Hall, that was where I was born.
Okay.
But every week it will be like filled with like 30, 40 people, literally crammed inside the house. They'll be dancing, to records lah,
Wow.
the finals and all. They'll be dancing, they'll be partying, they'll be drinking, eating and all that. So since I was like a kid, I was exposed to all this,
Nice.
Yeah, so this was the in this part of my life. It has, moved on to my life as well.
It's interesting, right? Because that's probably how you got started loving the music part of things.
Very, very much so.
So
my dad's records,
yeah.
and my mom used to sing. My mom is a good singer.
Really?
So I used to, I used to be enthralled by her singing. She used to sing to us, to me and my sister, and every night we had this, talent time, 1973. 3 years old.
Yes.
So my sister was 2, and then I would sing, and she would sing, and my mom would be the judge. So Singapore Idol was done. 50 years ago.
You guys were ahead of your time, man.
Oh yeah, way ahead. Yeah,
Brilliant.
so we had a lot of fun,
Nice.
a lot of singing, a lot of dancing, a lot of parties.
And what were the songs that you were listening to? I mean,
At that time?
Yeah, at that time.
Oh, Beatles, obviously Beatles, Elvis Presley, of course, But strangely, my influence was country and western, bro.
Really?
Strangely,
Western.
country and western music. So you got Merle Haggard, you had Johnny Cash, you had all these great singers.
Nice.
Yeah.
Then just going back to that Tanglin Halt area, that is a legendary place, man. Is that does that place still exist? The 3-room flats and
It's
all?
coming down.
Yeah?
It's coming down in about, if I'm not mistaken, in about 2.5 years' time.
It's close to the railway track and something like that, right?
That's right. So the entire Tanglin Halt will be raised down in about 2.5 years' time because, a lot of, it's prime area, obviously right in town.
Yeah, right.
So, a lot of, there'll be developments going on around
Schools that you went to? Like
I was in ACS.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
There are ACS. I know a lot of you hate ACS boys, but I was from ACS primary school.
Okay.
But later on in secondary school, I went to Totak, which is now defunct already lah.
Yeah.
It's gone, but it was in Bukit Timah, a pretty good school
Near
with regards
Choi
to
Drive and
that's right, Totak Road lah.
Totak Road.
So during those days, it was quite a good school. Actually, I would think so, a gangster school lah, but it was quite fun.
Gangster school. Tanglin Halt was a gangster area, man. That is a crazy area, right?
Down there quite hot during those days lah.
Right.
Yeah,
So how was school like? Were you like into sports or like?
I was.
Yeah.
I was into football. Yeah. Of course, I'm a lousy football player, but I was very much into football since I was in primary school.
And when did this love for Liverpool start? At that age or later on?
No, it was in 19 it was in late 70s lah.
Okay.
I was about 9 years old, 10 years old.
Nice.
Yeah.
So your CCAs was like football and
A lot. Actually, it's all football.
Right.
Most of my CCAs, football.
Okay, we talk about music, right? And obviously we are heading towards that direction.
Right.
Was music were you always inclined to that and instruments as well? Did you play or pick up instruments when you were younger?
Yes,
or?
I did.
Yeah?
Yes, I did. I mean, aside from from what my parents were trying to to discover what I could do. So the pianica, the harmonica, a bit of this, a bit of that. It's always been a little bit of this, a little bit. Even the flute. My dad brought me to flute.
Okay.
Classes and all that. So organ, piano, and the works lah. But I've always been interested in drums actually. So in school, I took up. I joined the band.
Okay.
And I wanted to be in drum. I cannot read lah. So I've got this.
What do you mean by you cannot read?
I can't read notes.
Oh, notes.
Okay. Or rather, I was a bit of a shy guy. I mean, in school. So I was in school. Yeah.
Really?
So bro, really. And I could not. I felt that I could not keep up. With the rest of the class. And I felt that I was, so I gave it up because I felt I could not.
But you could play, but you just couldn't.
I just couldn't read. So, like my organ lessons, right? I would take the classes, but I could not read at all. So I would just pretend I'll flip the page, I'll play.
But you could play.
I can play. I can remember the tune. I can remember everything, but I can't. I just can't read the notes.
This is a good point, no? I just want to ask you because I'm not a musical person, right? Those guys who've achieved success, like yourself and whoever, all these guys, right? Do they really know how to read notes, or they're just, some of them are just,
There are two kinds of musicians. One who is very technically inclined, and it's also very, they would read and can write all the tauge lah, and they can play as well. Right. And then there are those who just, like my guitar player boy, he could not he can't read a single note.
He can't?
He plays, yeah, but you know him, right?
Wow.
He plays beautifully.
Class,
it's
man.
his touch, it's his feel, it's his touch.
It's the feel, isn't it?
It's the feel, yeah. I think that's this is the creative part of the musician.
Okay,
yeah.
so basically you can play almost all the instruments, lah.
Most
Guitar.
of the instruments. I mean, I'm not good at it, but you know,
The drums and all.
decent.
Somehow,
I mean, when I was a kid, lah.
Somehow the drums, man, it's a sexy kind of.
It is, yeah. It's the heartbeat of the band.
But the problem is, not it's not a problem, but they're always at the back and not always seen. You know,
but they are the most one of the. Okay, I won't say the most important, but they drive.
Yeah.
They drive the band forward. So it's always the drummer and the bass player.
The bass
so
player.
these two are a team.
Right.
And then the guitar player and the keyboard player, because they are the rhythm. They are the rhythm section.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. So how about the singing part now? Was it natural since your mom was a singer, and obviously you know the parties every week, and
Right.
then did you join in, participate in the singing and stuff? But how did the singing part come?
Obviously, I mean, when I was a kid, I could remember songs. I could sing along to almost every record that my dad and mum had.
Yeah.
And cassette tapes are later on.
Okay.
So I could sing pretty decent way before I could, string sentences. So this is as far as I can remember. So I was already singing since I was a little boy already.
Right.
And strangely enough, when I was in school, when we formed the band in primary school, I was the drummer. I didn't want to, not want to. I didn't think about going up to the front, because I was always I preferred to be at the back, and to provide that soul that But my singer, one of the rehearsals or one of the sessions, he didn't make it.
Okay.
So I played and I sang. The guys were like, "Hey, quite okay, man. Why don't you?"
You played the drum and you sang.
Yeah, I played drums and I sang. As a kid, lah.
But that is a difficult thing
Like
to
10
do.
or
Man.
11 years old, lah. Fort Canning, they had a studio there. Yeah, I think like $5 an hour.
You were like you were like Don Henley in Eagle.
Don Henley. Oh my gosh.
Playing the drums and sing at the same time.
Yeah, Don Henley. Phil Collins.
Yes,
also
Phil
another
Collins.
great,
Yes.
yeah.
Wow.
These are legend drummers and singers, right?
So when you were growing up, right, did you ever think that you would front a band for the longest of times?
Yes.
You did?
Yes, I did.
Yeah?
I always had this image in my mind of myself being in the front.
Wow.
And I knew that this was something that I was going to do, strangely, since I was a kid. With a broomstick.
Oh, yes.
I would practice, not practice, but I would
in front of the mirror.
Stand in front of the mirror and I would sing. No, really, truly, this was what I was doing, and I used to do the Elvis moves.
Oh yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Well,
and
well
then
done.
later on in life, it was Douglas O actually who influenced me greatly, because I used to in the army I used to go down to fire, and that was where he was performing.
Beautiful.
Wow, I was like,
we can't talk about all this without talking about Douglas O, but we'll talk about him later on. Right? He's another legend. Right?
Oh yeah, hell yeah.
Let's talk about Krueger. Right. You started the band, right?
I started the band, yeah.
And it's called Krueger.
It was called Krueger.
Why?
Yeah. Okay. We obviously, as young guys, in our 20s and our early 20s, it was formed. Actually, Krueger was formed by myself and this guy called Roy Lim. He was a guitar player, and he's brilliant. I think he's the best guitar player that I've ever worked with, in Singapore. He was way ahead of his time. He's a bit of a recluse now. Yeah, but he's got talent beyond, normal expectations.
Okay.
He's extremely talented. But anyway, that's another story. Okay, so myself and Roy, we formed the band, and we were thinking of what shall we call it now. And then we were saying that why not we go for something that's something that can never die, lah. So it's Freddy Krueger, from Nightmare on Elm Street.
Nightmare on Elm Street.
Yeah, it's like a dream within a dream, a nightmare within a nightmare, and the guy just never dies, right? You can burn him, you can blow him up, you can shoot him, you can saw him, whatever, and he's always there. So I wanted us to have that, I know it sounds morbid, but yeah, I wanted a kind of longevity for the name.
But seriously, it's a nice
ring to it, right?
Ring to it, and it's also a good reason, right? You want it.
Yeah, exactly.
You want it to
Until you meet a South African, and you tell you, Krueger National Park. I said, no, it's Krueger, Freddy Krueger, But
right.
yeah.
And how old were you guys? Like, how old?
I was
you?
in just finished the. Actually, I was in the army when I about 18, 19. So that's when I formed.
And the rest were of them were still along
around the same ages, lah.
And from that band or from that time,
it has morphed,
till
obviously.
Now?
So the fourth, fifth generation, we have morphed, obviously, lah.
But you are the only survivor, lah.
I was the only survivor, lah.
So to put it in summary, right? You are the Freddy Krueger, lah. You are the surviving member, man.
I am the only surviving member.
Lovely. And okay, at that time, right, when you started out Krueger, what was the plan? Was there an objective? Like, okay, we're gonna play in clubs, cut an album maybe in 10 years' time, or play overseas.
Yes.
Was there an objective then?
Yes, at that time, yes. Not overseas though. I mean, at that time, our there wasn't any internet, there wasn't social media platforms, there wasn't anything like that. So our world was the stage, was the clubs lah, and that was was where we wanted to be. And there was at that time also in the early 90s, the only place to be was Europa. At that time, I think that's 7 or 8 outlets. East Coast, Changi, Ridley's, International Plaza, the works lah. They had so many outlets and they were growing, they were mushrooming, right? And so that was what I was trying to gun in for, and later on they came for us. So wow, everything just fell into place lah. It was.
But I'm quite curious, right? So you form a band. How do you like? I don't know what you want to call it. Penetrate these kind of places.
It's actually a chain of events. So I formed the band. Obviously I took part in competitions and all that. I think we came in second. I think in one of the rock Hotline back in those days lah. Yeah, it was before it was called Hotline. I think it was called something else. But anyway, we took part in band competitions and all that. But we were never really picked up, by club owners, because obviously they don't come down to any of these competitions. But I was very fortunate to work with Mel Ferdinand.
Right.
Mel Ferdinand, who's an actor now in Keen, but he was a frontman for Gypsy.
Okay. Yes.
Yeah. Mel Ferdinand and Dixie Ferdinand and Don Ferdinand. I mean, these were all the brothers for Gypsy lah.
Right.
Back in the day, they were like wow. They were one of the hottest bands as well. So Mel Ferdinand was working in the studio when I was in this karaoke place called Gazers.
Okay.
I think I was in the army at the time, so I was singing. And he came up to me and gave me his card and he said, "Give me a call." And then we hooked up, and then I did some jingles for him, did some small work for him. And then later on, after my army, he had a gig for me in Taiwan. So that was where I started, in Taipei.
Wow.
That was my first time performing live.
With Krueger, you mean?
No,
with
another band.
With another band.
Yeah.
As the
a Singaporean band in Taipei.
Right.
In Taipei. They were called Singapore Sling at the time. But it was a band that he put together.
Nice. And what kind of songs did you like?
It was all... yeah, I know. It was very, very rock and roll. Because in Taiwan, at that time, this was what was needed. So it was like, very rock and roll kind of...
How about Krueger, your first ever gig? Like on stage, in front of a crowd. What was it?
It was the first ever gig that we did in front of a crowd. It was an outdoor gig in Sentosa.
Okay.
Yeah.
What was it like?
It was very, very scary though. I remember like, wow, this is like, the first time I'm so many people.
What was the crowd like?
Amphitheater.
Oh, amphitheater.
It was an amphitheater in was it Sentosa or was it? Anyway, I mean, yeah. It was an amphitheater, and then there was, the crowd was a lot of people. Wow. I think we started like 8:30 or something. So there was, after dinner, a lot of people said it was a free concert lah, and we were told. We were invited to perform. So it was a really, really good experience for me because although I was shaking.
Yeah.
But after a few seconds of belting out, I remember I sang some Bon Jovi songs, something like that. So, and after that, I just relaxed and I started to do my thing lah.
Nice.
And that was when then I realized that, oh dang, we can do this, man.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's nice. That's nice. And I also hear that before that, right? You went into singing and all. You were a waiter.
I was I'm a school leaver. So I left school. When I was 15 years old, and I've started working many jobs. But one of the jobs that I always went back to was banquet waitering because I enjoyed it actually at that time. I still enjoy it though. I still like the thought of
Right.
yeah.
Now, I just want to go into Krueger, yourself, and the performing bit.
Okay.
Right? This should be fun, right? Now, being a vocalist,
right,
and we talk about the years that you've been performing, right?
Right.
Not only at the beginning stage, right? What is the main challenge or challenges that you face as a singer, as a vocalist, in front of a crowd, performing, maybe to
consistency? That's
in terms of what, quality, or what is it?
quality. Okay, so because you're doing the same thing. It's a repetition,
Of course.
right?
Yeah.
Every week the band would rehearse once or twice a
Okay.
week, and new songs would come in.
Yes.
Two songs or maybe even three lah, but not too much because
Yeah.
you need to remember, you need to
Right.
and you need to rotate the songs as well. So at any one time we have got a couple of 100 songs already.
Okay.
In a repertoire about 300 plus 400 songs lah, which we'll
Okay.
we'll do a rotation. Per set,
Okay.
it's about 10 to 12 songs per set.
Okay.
Okay, so we've got 3 sets at
Okay.
night, 6 nights a week. So that's how we
Okay.
do it. So consistency is key because you're doing a repetition. There are certain songs that you can't run away from. What we call the national anthem songs lah.
Okay.
Like Sweet Child of Mine.
Okay.
It's My Life. These are the songs that you just can't run away from because
Okay.
these are the songs that people will go nuts over, or they will dance, or the energy is very, very high. So these are songs you can't run. But if you were to play them you try playing it for 10 years, on a nightly basis,
Yes.
and that's
Yes.
when you can actually fall asleep. But that's where you need to
Okay.
ignite your
Right.
your passion and belt
Okay.
it out well, do it well, regardless of how bored you are with it, or
Yeah.
what you have at home, or whatever stress that you have, or whatever problems that you have. The minute you hit the stage, you need to perform, and that's quite serious actually.
I like this bit a lot, John. Because it is not only about the singing part and your profession part. It's our other professions as well. And we
Right.
talk about teaching, we talk about coaching, because I do that as well.
Yeah, yeah.
And I know for
You used
sure.
to be a pro footballer, so
And I know for sure, right? Because you have other things on your mind, and
Yeah.
then when you come in there, you got to
you
perform.
got to take everything off
Yeah.
and focus. I read. No, I actually not read. I watched. Conor McGregor.
Yes.
Right? Yeah.
Yes.
A lot of people
Yeah.
hate him or love him or whatever.
Yeah.
But I tell you, that guy,
Yeah.
he went on during that interview that I watched on YouTube. He said that way before he was a megastar, he already envisioned himself to be where he was.
Yeah.
And I tell you, bro, it was exactly what I was doing, and I was, singing the broomstick in front of the mirror. I envisioned
Beautiful.
myself, the lights, with the crowd, the kind of clapping, with the kind of, I wouldn't call it adoration because that's
Yeah.
it's not an adoration, but that
Yeah.
communication between me and the crowd, that kind of energy, and it's and that is something which I already encapsulated in my mind already.
Right.
So when Connor was talking about it, I could relate to it straight away.
Yes.
And I think that's really important. Whatever that you do in life,
Yeah.
the thing that you really love, you need to throw your entire being into it. Otherwise, why do it? You don't waste your time, man.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. I want to ask you about this because sometimes I do. Okay, I just do a little bit of singing lah. Performing and whatever, right? I've got a problem with lyrics. Do you, while you're performing, do you okay? Damn, I forgot the lyrics, right? Do you just hantam or not?
Have to lah, bro. At times. Okay, not always. Especially the new songs lah. As long as it rhymes lah. Sometimes my band no more. Hey, bro, what rubbish you say.
So everyone, the secret is out. Sometimes John he hantam also.
Sometimes lah.
Yeah, but like you said yourself, right? At any one time, you've got
Yeah.
100 in the cap. How do you
Okay, yeah, I know that's a very really good question because everybody asks me that. Actually, strangely enough, right? For every song that I rehearse, I make a movie out of it in my mind. So it's strange, right?
Okay. Yeah.
But I've got a movie running on in my mind about the song. So I know it in sequence. I know it by heart. So there's a storyline behind
But
it.
this is strange lah. I mean, I can't.
You reckon?
I can't relate to that.
Is it?
But 100 songs, 100 stories.
Yeah, bro. I can remember all the characters. I can remember the scenes in my mind. I can remember the setting. That's how I remember the lyrics.
Like what?
Never Say Goodbye.
Like
is one of,
living on a prayer, like Tommy.
Yeah, living on a prayer.
Yeah,
Tommy used to work on the dock, so I would imagine a dockyard worker, a blue collar guy.
Wow.
Yeah.
But nowadays, right? Do you have like the lyrics thing or
whatever? Of course, I mean, this.
Yeah.
Of course, I mean,
but you can't.
That'd be a great guide,
before,
right?
Yeah.
No. Before I used to write on Jotter book, So.
Wow, Jotter book. Where's the last time I heard that Jotter book?
Is it A4?
Jotter book. It is Jotter book.
A5 or something like that. But
right.
yeah, I used to write it down and paste it on the monitor so I can.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay, you went back to going back to just now. You were saying about like practicing, rehearsing and stuff, right? So what is in a day? What is the typical day for Krueger from morning till night? Or obviously, you play at the night.
At night, yeah.
And then what time do you sleep?
Very late. Yeah,
late
really
means
very late.
Like what?
Yeah, because we finish work at about close to
3, 4.
About 3.
Yeah.
About 3ish. Some clubs, later as well. So. By the time you're done, I mean, you can't just totally switch off. It's impossible, right? By the time you're done, you'll talk a little bit with your musicians or customers and whatnot, and you probably have your dinner or your supper.
Correct.
You call it supper, but because I don't have dinner, so I'll probably eat a little bit before heading home.
Okay.
I need to shower, you need to unwind.
Yeah.
So by the time I hit the sack, right, it'll be about like 7-ish, about there. So I'll try to wake up a bit earlier, about lunchtime,
Okay.
Yeah, so it's about 5 hours of sleep. I'll wake up lunchtime, take a shower, and then I get ready for the day lah.
So the rehearsal starts
about 3ish, yeah.
So you rehearse
after lunch lah.
So you rehearse for that night sets.
No, rehearse to throw in new songs.
Okay.
Not just for the night. Of course, that night we'll play it lah.
All right.
Yeah.
Right.
So rehearsals is actually for musos like us, or musicians like us, right? Rehearsals, that's real work. It's like footballers lah. You guys.
Correct.
You've got your training. Nobody sees the training bit.
Of course.
Everybody sees glamorous stars coming on the field, but nobody sees the training. Nobody sees the amount of work you'll put through, right?
Yeah.
Same thing.
Right.
Same thing.
I just wanted to ask you that, is it as glamorous as people think? As in, of course, the rehearsals, and then you play at night, and that's when you get the fans, lah. Obviously, when people like me come over and watch you, and is it? If you look at it in a just take a back seat and take a look at it, is it as glamorous as what people think?
Wow, that's a really hard question. Okay, and I tell you why. Because I know it's not. It seems to be, and it would seem as if, that I'm downplaying it, to a lot of people say, she was glamorous. I know it is to a certain extent. That's for sure.
Okay.
The fans, some of them are real hardcore fans.
Yeah, of course.
So there, okay lah. I would say there's a certain glamour attached to it, but I wouldn't say that I'm jaded or anything like that, because that's got a negative connotation to it. However, I would say that I understand the business well enough to know that the glamour bit is temporary or it's very fleeting lah. But it's not everything. Yeah.
Beautiful. Now, what does it take to be a vocalist? And to be successful as well. And I say that because you're successful, right? And what does it take to be
healthy? You need to keep yourself healthy. Because I tell you why, bro. When you are bouncing on stage, especially if you're the only vocalist in that sense, a lot of bands, they got like 2-3 singers and all that. They got big, what do you call a big band or top 40 bands or whatever. But if you're in a rock outfit, like myself, commercial rock outfit, then you would have to be fit. You would have to sweat buckets. Like really,
yes.
And then. You are. It's like a full on exercise. And 6 nights a week. It's not funny. Three nights, 3 sets a night. So you're like, I bring change of clothes, three clothes. I'm soaked.
Right.
I'm soaked.
That's nice, because I was expecting to hear, stage presence, this, that, and you said
that's important, but fitness is
that's great. That's
super important, because you need to be really, really fit to be on stage.
And funnily enough, right, I haven't seen. I'm talking about the rock stars in the US, and I haven't seen a unfit vocalist.
Bro, if you notice, most of them are extremely fit. They are very lithe. I mean, I'm not talking about like buff. They're not buff like yourself. You're very fit. Right. So, but they're lithe. They're tight. They're very fit.
Yeah. Brilliant. How about stage presence? You said that, right?
Very
and I heard you say something on Hanson's show, the podcast, right? You were saying about the stage presence is something that you cannot learn, but you can acquire.
You can acquire.
Right?
You can acquire through time, and you need time. You need stage time lah. You need stage
experience,
time. You need stage experience. You need to watch. You need to learn. you need to humble yourself. I think that's really important. You need to empty yourself before you can fill anything else in.
Okay.
Yeah. So you need to learn, and you need to acquire it. You need to get it. You need to go and get it.
So what is to you someone with stage presence? What is that? What are
Actually,
you looking at?
there's a lot of not a lot, but there are. I can't mention names, but there are people who have it, but they don't know that they have it. When they come on stage, people automatically, what the hell is this? This is, I'm not talking about, I'm not talking about looks or anything. There's a presence, and I think that's really important.
Right.
That's super, super important. Yeah.
Like yourself.
So it's intangible, bro.
Like yourself. Are you being humble?
Well
now?
put, man. Are
you being humble? No, but seriously, right? I go to watch you play.
Known you long enough,
yeah. And I know that you have that. So do you know or you don't know?
Okay, at first I didn't. At first I didn't know what it was.
Okay.
It was several different people who explained it to me, who told me about it.
Okay.
And then over time, then I grasped it. Okay, the other thing which I failed to mention is that I don't like watching myself. Strangely.
Oh yes. Okay.
I hate watching myself. I don't like listening to myself. I'm my biggest critic, I think. And therefore, any so-called compliment, right, that comes along my way, I'm very careful with it. I'm very wary about it because I'm a little bit uncomfortable with it. I've always felt I don't deserve any of this, and it's the only time that I feel that I'm worthy of it is after I put in a good shift. After I put in, then I feel, hey, I've done the hard work. I've rehearsed. I've fought hard for this.
Okay, stop being humble. 1 to 10, sexy rating. What are you?
Sexy rating, 1 to 10, 11.
Brilliant. Excellent stuff. That's how I want it to be, this podcast. But I hear you. You don't like to hear yourself. Exactly. I just don't like to hear myself.
Oh, is it?
I don't.
Really?
I cringe.
See, I cringed. Like,
like,
what the hell did I say? Or how the hell did I? How come I look like that?
Yeah, it's weird. It's weird. It's just like that. Do you drink on the job?
I used to.
Okay.
I used to.
Yeah.
But I also realized that it destroys your performance after a while. Yeah, not destroys, but you.
Does it help to loosen you a little bit or no? So it's a myth, lah.
It's a myth, lah.
Really?
It's a myth, lah. Yeah. In fact, yeah. In fact,
Interesting.
Yeah. In fact, it dampens you a little bit. It numbs you a little bit.
Okay.
Yeah. And your senses have to be fired. On stage, you need to be fired because there's an intangible force. It's an energy from the audience, and you need to quickly capture it. And that's one of the important bits about being on stage. You need to understand what the crowd wants.
You're talking about crowd,
Majority,
right?
Yeah.
You're talking about crowd, right? What's the craziest thing a girl fan has done?
Oh, I can't say, man. But
hey, why cannot?
Craziest thing, oh my gosh. Okay, there are a lot of crazy things, but I think there's this girl that that I would like to give a mention to.
Okay, why not?
She has collected on my birthday. She has collected every year on my birthday the Straits Times and its main headlines, like 1970, 1971, 1972, on June the 23rd. I mean, that's my birthday. So she has collected on that day all the headlines. Was it June 1970, June the 23rd? Yeah. Sorry, it was just on that day.
Really?
Yeah. She went to the National Archive. She went to pick out everything. I thought, wow. And she went to photostat it and put it into a
like a scrapbook.
Sort of yeah, man.
Wow.
I thought that was so sweet. Yeah.
Brilliant, man. See, fans. the energy, right? Songs that or genres that you don't do. Now forget about Krueger. You personally.
Boy band cannot. I will vomit.
Obviously, you haven't done, right?
No, I can't. I can't. I thought about it. I cannot. I can't do boy band stuff. I can't.
Okay, putting boy band aside, right? Like that is probably like a genre kind of boy band kind of pop kind of thing, right? How about in a rock setting or rock genre, songs that you just don't like doing? Any songs?
In the rock genre.
Or you just don't like doing it, like people like, but
maybe I would say like songs like "Sweet Child of Mine" or Hotel California, because it's a bit overplayed lah.
Okay.
Yeah, for me lah. Although, you know, I mean, so for 20 over years, right, people request this every week. You know, so I'm like,
okay.
Yeah.
You get sick of it sometimes, right?
Yeah.
Actually,
Yeah,
me
after
listening to it so, right?
You know?
Yeah, after a while. Yeah. No, not from you. I'm talking about in general, right?
In general, right?
Yeah.
After a while, you know, your earache lah.
Have you ever thought about going solo?
No. No.
Really?
No, really. Okay, I tell you this little story. When I was in Taiwan,
Okay.
actually somebody came up to me to sign me on
Wow.
as a solo artist when I was working in Taiwan. But it was for the contract was for 3 years. So the first year I'll be having to learn Mandarin, Chinese, and the second year I would have to be stuck in the studio. Of course, they'll write songs for me, they'll package me, they'll take photographs.
What kind of
videos.
songs? Like what genre?
Chinese rock. Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, because they wanted to package me at that time. And then the third year I'll be touring. So that sounded very grand and all that, right? I turned it down. So I think that should be the biggest regret and biggest mistake
Why?
I made in my career.
Why?
Because I think that would have been a totally different dimension for me. Really.
When was this? Like which year?
When I first started out in music, no.
Oh,
That's
is
the
it?
reason why I turned it down, because you know I wanted to come back to Singapore to rock and roll. This is not something I wanted to do, because I think when you're young, you are not guided, you're not advised,
Okay.
you know. And I think that's really important, you know, in whatever craft that you're in, you need to have a proper mentor, you know, a proper guy to propel you forward, to advise you, good advice, you know.
So at that time, if you had taken it, right? You
I think that I'll be I would have been
a star.
a real mega star. You know, because
Yeah,
it's
yeah.
proper packaging. What you know, you got
Yeah, yeah.
proper vocal lessons, you know, proper dieting, album recordings. You know, it's all done properly.
So
So it's a 3-year plan. It was a 3-year plan.
So it's your biggest
Yeah.
regret.
It is my biggest regret.
Do you
up to
speak
date.
Mandarin and
Right now?
yeah?
My Mandarin would probably make everyone laugh. So
Okay, okay.
it's terrible.
Right.
Yeah. I took up Malay in school.
Same.
Yeah.
And at that time when you guys were big, right? Krueger and playing in clubs and you know
Right.
in the circuit, right? Did you guys ever thought of writing your own songs and cutting an album, or have you already done it, which we don't know about?
We have you see, bro. In the music scene, in the club music scene, you're expected to. We are a cover band.
Yep.
And that is what we're good at doing.
Yep.
So, but we may take a piece of
Okay.
music and then, you know, redo it a little bit lah. But
Okay.
you can't mess it up too much.
Of
You know,
course.
you can the
Yeah.
outro. I mean, the intro, the outro. You can play along a little bit, but you can't touch the main gist of
Yeah.
it, right?
Yeah.
So the creative part would kick in, you know, when we want to put some flower to it lah, you know. Otherwise, this is what we're born to do. I mean, this is what we're expected to do.
Your bread and butter lah.
Our bread and butter lah. So when it comes to writing music and all that, we have tried lah, but it's not something that,
Okay.
it's not something that we moved,
Now
into.
we have to. We were talking about this and talking to you as well, right? We have to talk about Douglas O, right?
Oh man, yeah.
Both of you were the frontmen of bands, obviously Energy and yourself, Krueger, and considered the sexiest people
At that time, yeah.
at that time.
Yeah.
And you guys were at your peak, right?
Yeah.
Were your rivals? Were y'all
No,
like?
Douglas was a little bit ahead of me. I think
Okay.
10 years, you know, about
Okay.
8 to 10 years he was ahead of me. So actually he was the trailblazer. He was the trendsetter. He was the trailblazer, because for whom without, it was difficult for me to come up, because
Okay.
then, you know, there'll be nobody to compare with in that
Okay.
in that sense. So to be really, really honest and to be fair, I think that I took a lot of Douglas. I took a
Okay.
lot of. I may have improvised, of course, I have,
Yep,
obviously. But yeah, he was my main, the person that I really looked up to.
Okay.
And Douglas is a person that I, in his style, his
Yeah.
you know, his presence, that's something that I tried to grasp as much as I could when I was coming up. Because man, that guy, until today, I still think he's The best lah. Best live performer around.
And you
male performer. I don't think anyone can touch him.
Yeah?
Yeah, I really think so. I say it with conviction.
And
Right.
you were talking about stage presence, right? And
Right. This is the guy lah. This is the one that I was talking about now.
It's an aura, isn't it? It's like
It's an aura, yeah.
Wow.
He comes on, you know that this guy is special. There's something about him.
How is he, by the way? He's gone off.
Yeah, he's gone off the radar. He's retired. He does gigs once in a while,
Yeah.
but he does gigs as and when he wants to.
Yeah.
He worked with me in Berlin for a little bit.
Okay.
And then but he will come as and when he wants lah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Nice. You guys, right, played in places like Rouge,
Oh yeah.
Yello Jello,
Yello Jello.
Aquanova, Berlin Bar, obviously, and
China Bar and all that, yeah.
I was just going to say this place, right, China Bar.
China
I think
Bar,
to
man.
me, because I was frequenting
Yeah.
this place and going for the band and stuff like
Epitome,
that,
right? Yeah.
was probably the best.
pinnacle, right? Yeah.
Probably the best place in terms of the band and and I can still remember the first time I tasted Erdinger by the tray with 6 pints. Or I can't remember.
Yeah, because by the time you're done, you're already goya already, bro.
Exactly. So, talk us through some of these places. How was it like? Okay, let's start off with China Bar. What
China
was it
Bar
like?
was a hole in the wall, man. I mean, it was a really obscure place away from town.
Yeah.
It was so different. The first time I saw it, I said, "Alamak, how am I going to make this place rock?" But it was special because the minute I stepped in, I saw the stage behind the bar. And it's a sunken bar. Remember, it was a sunken bar.
Yes.
So it's such a
Unique, right?
Very, very unique. A little bit crampish, a bit
Yes,
small,
small.
but very warm. It had soul, it had character. And I think that, I think it was a match made in heaven. When
Right.
we came, it was empty, at the time. I remember checking it out. Over the weekend because when after I got the offer I walked over from where I was at Metz.
Okay.
So I used to walk over on Friday and
Yeah.
Saturdays just to see. I see 3 tables, 2 tables. I said, how am I going to?
Yeah.
It was a big challenge, and some more at that time it was SARS when I went in.
Oh.
Yeah, it was SARS time.
2003.
2003. That's right. And I think I signed the contract sometime in April or May. Yeah. So it was actually in the SARS. It was the height of SARS. Yeah.
And Yello Jello was good as well. I thought it
Yello
was.
Jello was also good,
It was
yeah.
good. And it was crowded then. That because
it was
at-
crazy crowded,
because
yeah.
Clark Key was at that time. Bernard's place, right? Bernard's stretch.
Oh yeah, Bernard Lim. Yeah. Yeah, my boss. Yeah.
Yeah, your boss, right?
I love him, man. Good guy.
And then Aquanova, because it was Clinic before that. Was it Clinic?
It was Clinic before that. Yeah.
And you played with a couple of.
Okay. What happened with Aquanova was that the deal at that time, Bernard changed, right, from Clinic to Aquanova, and then he wanted to bring us over to Aquanova,
yeah.
but it was actually my idea. I sort of proposed to him. I said, why not? We get a performing sort of band, a top
Okay.
40 kind of thing. That's where I hooked Alia and Patrick in.
Right.
We wanted a bigger, sort of like a bigger outfit to fit the place lah.
Yeah.
And that was also, so it was selfless, right, on my part.
Right.
But I also felt that I lost myself in the process.
Okay.
It's not a good thing or bad thing. It's just the way that it is. I mean, it worked well for the business.
Yep.
But for myself, I just felt like maybe this isn't for me lah.
Okay.
So that's the reason why I
Took a step back.
took a step back after 2 years. I think it was.
And there was
there.
was it Jive Talking as well playing there? Same.
Also, because I think Jive Talking ended their contract with Pamru.
Okay.
So they moved and so it was quite a crazy move lah. In that
Yes,
sense,
yes,
in the sense that wow,
Unique as well, right?
Very, very unique. I mean, you've got Krueger and then you've got
Nice.
Jive Talking. However, Krueger was already at that time with all these performers in Alia and Patrick. It was already I felt that I lost my personal identity
Right.
in that sense lah.
Okay, what was
but I was very happy with what I put together.
Okay.
I think in hindsight, I think it was a very bold move by me to do that, to decide on it.
You
Because
could
it
have been
wasn't-
selfish.
I could have been.
Yeah.
So it was selfless in that sense. For me to put this together for the business. I thought better for the business. I discussed it with Bernard and he said, yeah, it's a good idea. Why not? So at that time, Bernard was also very open-minded, and he was willing to listen, and he was willing to try out as well.
Right.
So all the elements were in line, in place lah,
Okay.
for this thing to happen. But it didn't augur well for me in the long term lah.
Okay.
Yeah.
In what sense? Specifically, like how did it affect
I
you?
lost my personally lah. Nothing to do with the
Yeah,
band.
yeah,
Nothing to
yeah.
do with the business.
Yeah.
Business was great. The band was great. Nothing. It was everything to do with me. My own. I just felt like I just didn't belong to.
As in like sharing stage, that kind of thing.
Yeah, the flow.
Yeah, okay, okay.
Not just that. I mean, sharing the stage is one thing. The flow, the music as well. It wasn't.
Okay,
we were doing Rihanna, I mean, obviously we had Alia, right? So that's. I mean, she's queen of all
of
this,
course,
right?
of course,
She's awesome in doing all this. But this wasn't what I wanted to do,
Understand. I know. I can understand that part. Yeah. Krueger and Rihanna.
It's like maybe a great footballer, and then you sign up for another club, and then the manager put this out. This is not exactly how I want to, Yeah.
See, we can never go far from football, right? Putting football into nice. John, let's talk about your businesses, right? Because obviously we're not talking in terms of chronological order, right?
Okay,
because
it's all over the shop.
Yeah, it comes in between, but that's good because I just want to talk specifically about the businesses.
Right.
Now,
that I've done.
Yeah, of course.
Okay.
And you are going to do, maybe, I think, in a few months or whatever. For listeners, right? John has done a couple of businesses, and you'll be surprised about the business that he's done, because I've done my research and I know. Let's start off with the first one, diving. Your diving business?
Oh, my diving shop, yeah. I did that for about a year and a half, 2 years, I can't remember, about around there.
Because you're a diver, right?
Because I was a diver. I took up diving, and I just fell in love with it.
Okay.
And at that time, when you're 20 plus, right, diving was, oh my gosh, that was the crazy, it was such a good time. The laughter, the camaraderie, it was really fun, bro. I mean, the trips, the stars, the drinking, the boating, it was just,
So you opened up what business? As in teaching people how to dive, or what is it?
Yeah, it was a school. It was a dive school in Siglap.
Okay.
In Siglap.
So you were one
East
of the
Coast Road,
you were the owner of the business, and one of the.
I was a student at first, and then later on, I got into the business.
And you became an instructor as well for that.
I took up my IDC. I went as far as AI, assistant instructor, but I didn't go through my IDC, so I'm not a full-fledged. I can assist. I'm an assistant instructor.
Right.
Yeah.
So how was that business? Was it good? I'm sure you enjoyed yourself, right? It's what you
I
like.
enjoyed it. I enjoyed it myself immensely. Immensely. It was, I think, one of the best times of my life.
Was it like full-time business, or you were playing also at that time?
No, full-time.
Full-time, okay.
I went into it full-time. But then when I realized that, it's a business that doesn't put food on the table.
Okay.
Terrible, man. The profits were almost, terrible. Yeah.
So did you fold it, or you sold, you just... What?
At that time... No, I didn't fold it because one of my partners, the shop belongs to his family.
Okay.
So so they took it back and I just pulled out.
Okay.
Yeah.
Understand. Now, obviously, that was your first business. Then you went back into playing. Gigs and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And then next one was Phuket. Why are you laughing?
Because everybody does when they hear what I did in Phuket.
Okay, I don't want to spoil things. You go.
I sold satay. Satay, man. In Phuket. Okay, how it all started, right? Because my dad used to be sort of like a riding leader. Motorbike.
Okay.
Motorbike group.
Okay.
So we'd take trips up to, a lot of trips up to Thailand, the Golden Triangle, and all that. Malaysia, of course.
So you rode
I used to ride together with my dad. And then we sort of like, at that time, I think it was, I was 28, 29, around there, I fell in love with Phuket, at that time. So, I was telling myself, maybe it's time for me to stop singing for a little bit.
Okay.
One of my famous sabbaticals, I always take sabbaticals from time to time. I just want to do something different, And I also miss diving. I miss nature. I love nature. I love being on the beach. I love anything that's got to do with the beach. And I was just scratching, what the hell to do in Phuket? And at that time, my dad was a bit of a voyeur man. It was a bit of a bit of a journeyman as well. So he was toying with satay. He was saying that He was saying that he was toying with it because my dad is a great cook, right?
Okay.
So he was putting together the recipe for satay sauce, and it took him a year of R&D actually.
Wow.
1 year.
Okay.
And how his R&D is, he went to all the best satay places in Singapore
Okay.
to pick up tips. He actually went up to the owners. Hey, how you do a satay?
Oh.
He took up tips from everybody, and he put it all together. And every week he will try lah. He will do the sauces, he will do the satay, he will cut the meat, he will go and find the suppliers, he will this, he will that. You know, the meats are easy, but it's the sauce, man.
Oh, so the meat is actually
easy. Nothing. The meat is okay.
Really?
It's the sauces, yeah.
So which is the best place in Singapore in terms of satay?
Okay, that's really hard to say because there are so many good stalls.
Okay.
So can you imagine if my dad has taken the tips from all the best stalls and put it together?
Right.
That means I'm the best really lah. No, but really, truly, I mean, you know, we did a litmus test with all our friends every week on a weekly basis for 1 year. 1 year of R&D. That's not funny, yeah.
And then after that, what? You decided to just sell, distribute.
Set
What
up.
was it? Set up.
So we distributed the satay. Okay, my dad also had a friend in Thailand. He's a Singaporean guy. He's been in Thailand
Okay.
for 20 over years.
Okay.
So, you know, he knows everybody lah in Thailand. I can't, you know. But anyway,
Okay.
yeah. So he sort of set us up, you know, for the business. I was staying in Phuket town, Tan On Dibuk. I still
Okay.
remember this place called Tan On Dibuk.
Okay.
So it was a 4-story house, 4-story
Yeah.
place. So first floor is where we did all our processing work, all our cutting,
Okay.
all our grinding and whatnot lah, all our grinding, our
Okay.
sauce lah.
Okay.
You know, by the Ono. Actually, we had an Ono to do it.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then we'll do the packing, the freezing and everything
Okay.
into freezers, and then we'll take the orders. And the second floor was our office. Third floor is my bedroom, and the fourth floor is where we hang our laundry.
Wow. So for 2 years you were doing this?
Yeah,
I mean,
man.
you were running the place
Yeah,
lah.
I was
basically.
running Phuket, yeah.
So you actually know the secret recipe of making a,
Oh
a
yeah,
perfect
of course
sauce?
I do. Oh,
Do you,
yeah.
do you still do it
30
at home?
over ingredients. 30 over.
30.
30 over. I think 36 or 35 ingredients.
So do you still do it like sometimes?
I
lah?
haven't done it obviously I haven't done it in 20 over years. But I've been recently thinking about picking it up again. Not to sell satay in freaking Phuket lah, but
Yeah.
you know, I wanna. Yeah.
You laughed at the beginning, right?
Yeah.
Okay, maybe if someone
Sounds funny, right?
No,
Job,
someone
why not
someone knows you, and then you start saying that you
I
used
sold
to
satay.
sell satay, right? Okay, people might laugh, but I'm thinking this is class, man. Like
Seriously? I
Yeah,
thought you
who
were gonna burst your head out laughing.
who
man.
would think who would think, right? Like you would do that, like distribute satay.
Yeah. Yeah, that's strange because I never thought so myself, you know. I mean,
Yeah.
you know, and then it's not even natural. I mean, you know, it's so strange that I
No,
would do
but
something like that.
but you talked about the sauce, right? But I'm thinking the meat is important as well. It's got to be tender, man. Like,
Yeah, the cut has got to be. I mean,
Right.
that's the reason why you need. Part of the ingredients of the sauce has to go into the meat, for marination. Yeah,
okay.
and that's how it. Yeah, and also the cut of the meat as well.
Okay,
The cut of the
okay.
which part of the chicken, which part of the mutton and all that. That's really important.
So that one, you after that, what happened? After 2 years, you sold it. You sold the business.
Okay, I had a partner.
Okay.
With me, and
Yeah.
that's also another crazy story. But anyway,
Okay.
I had a partner with me. I came back because I miss
Playing again.
Yeah.
Okay.
And that was before China Bar lah.
Okay.
That was
Okay.
before China Bar lah.
Oh, thank God,
I
man.
came back, for China Bar, yeah.
Thank God.
Yeah. So I left Phuket in 2002, and then then October I started in Mets, and then
Okay.
2003, and then I started in China Bar.
Bali,
Bali.
a place that you love, right? I know. That
Bali
you
was
love.
after Thumper.
Okay.
After Thumper, I know it's crazy, right? So after China Bar, it was Rouge. After Rouge, it was Thumper. Then after Thumper, I went to Bali.
For
Bali was also about 2 years as well.
what?
I had a restaurant, a Chinese restaurant. A Chinese restaurant. But it was okay. We had a lot of partners in that restaurant. Obviously, when Indonesian guy as well, obviously, right? Because it's Indonesia. The rest were Singaporean partners, and there was one active partner and myself. So I'm also the other active partner.
Okay.
Among all the partners, right? I'm the smallest shareholder.
Okay.
Smallest guy, but I was active.
Okay.
So I could stay there. I rented a bike.
Okay.
A motorbike. That's how I got around. Of course, I mean,
Yeah.
in Bali, you can't drive. It's crazy, right? Traffic there is crazy. And I lived in it's lifestyle. Actually, the reason why I did all this, right? Because I love the lifestyle. I love, yeah.
You didn't give shit about the restaurant, lah?
No, I didn't. I just love going into the restaurant and then hearing everybody, pagi pak, yeah, I'm the boss, yo. Now I go and check the tides, what time high tide, so I can go, go surfing, swimming. That's my job, mate.
For 2
so
years.
My partner was like, what the hell, man, this guy.
For 2 years.
For 2 years, mate.
Surfing every day.
Every day, yeah. And so I can't surf to save my life, but like real, all the Japanese chicks looking at me, I'll carry the surfboard like.
Wow.
Like real,
Hey,
my bintang.
I got to ask you this, right? Of all these businesses, right? You've done. You left. You gone to do your business. You came back. Your band members.
Oh yeah.
What did they think about you, man?
Sultan, my keyboard player, he always say, hey, "Can you stop taking your breaks?"
So when you went for break,
irritating.
So did they take a
Poor
break?
thing lah. I mean, no, of course not. Now everybody have. So everybody go their own way. They had to find.
Wow.
I mean, they have there were a lot of gigs around. Okay. They will find, but I think it's different when you enjoy working with a certain bunch of people, and then and it's just not the same anymore, right? So my keyboard players make a lot of noise at the time. He was saying, "You stop doing this, bro."
After Bali.
Yeah, bro.
And then obviously you played and Berlin Bar.
After Bali, Bernard came a calling. So after that it wasn't Berlin Bar. It was Yello Jello.
Yello Jello, yeah.
Yeah.
But I'm talking about the business because Berlin is your own.
Berlin was the business. Yeah, Berlin was the business. I played in Aquanova, Yello Jello, Aquanova, and then Beacon.
Oh yes, okay.
Beacon as well. Remember you came by Beacon as well. And after Beacon, then I decided to do something. Decided to open something now. Okay. Finally, on my
Is this something that you wanted to do?
Yes,
always, right?
Always wanted to do. But I had a lot of fun doing it. It's a restaurant bar, right? It's about 4,000 plus square feet.
It's huge, I know.
Chimes.
It's huge.
Big. 4,500 square feet. Yeah, it's huge. With a very big outdoor ORA, outdoor recreation area. And then decent indoor. Sound was great. I had a good kitchen set up. Food was decent. It was a good place. It was a very good place, especially location as well. But then again, I you always learn something new, right?
Yes. What did you learn?
This one, quite a big lesson for me. That you either you're an entertainer or not. You can't wear two hats, lah. Yeah. So yes, I didn't perform. I did from time to time. Okay. I had other performers performing with my band. Okay. A lot of good fronters, fantastic fronters. Douglas is one of them. Yes. A lot of good fronters that were performing with my band, even female singers. But it just wasn't the same for my customers or their expectations. I just didn't meet that. It's not that it's no good. Everything was
because
good.
They wanted to see you, lah. Yeah. Right.
So that was something that I learned over time. So in future, if I'm ever blessed to open up. Ever again, I would not do the business. I would just perform. I think that's what I'm born to do. I think.
So you either run the business or you just perform.
I just perform. Yeah, I think the best is just to perform. Like let somebody else run the business.
Right.
I think that would make a lot more sense for.
Was that one of the reasons why you?
Yeah. Because I just didn't feel it anymore. Is
it still there or it's gone?
Oh, it's bought. It's taken over by somebody else. Yeah.
Same name or?
Oh, different name.
Different name.
Yeah, different name.
Okay. So, of all this, and that's one of the not challenges, the lessons that you learn, right? And what other lessons did you learn from all these businesses that you know?
There's obviously a whole slew of lessons to learn from. You will find out also who your friends are, and whatnot. But those are little things, lah. I think the most important thing is that you need to know for yourself what you're really good at. And what you're destined to do. I think that's what you want and what you need, right, are two totally different things. You need to balance it out. You need to figure it out. Yeah. And you need to go for it. You need to make the right decision. You can't wear two hats at one time. Like you can't.
And it's not a joke, running a business, right?
No, it's not at all.
Especially now, if you look at it, COVID and
right now it's even tougher. Yeah. It's much tougher. But you can sense that things are opening up a little bit more. Yeah. I've got a couple of gigs coming up. In time. Okay. I've just got a couple of calls. I'll be doing some outdoor shows and all that. So it's a good sign. Okay. Things are slowly beginning to open up a little bit. Yeah.
That business part is out of the way. right?
Right.
John, your personal thoughts, all right, about certain things, right? Your thoughts on bands nowadays, local bands. I'm talking
Local
about.
bands,
Yep. And if they can match up to Krueger, and not even only Krueger, right? And the other bands, you talk about what the Gingerbread and all these guys, and Energy, and even Jive Talking.
Jive Talking, yeah.
Right. So how do they compare?
Okay, these are bands, right, from the 80s and 90s.
Okay,
the bands that you just mentioned, these are bands that are hewn from fire and stone. I mean, these are these are the old school bands lah.
Right.
They're great. They're magnificent bands. They've been around. They've seen a lot. They've great experience, a wealth of experience behind them. So these are the legends lah, the legendary bands lah.
Right.
But if we talk about modern, like the new bands, I'm not going to mention it because it's silly to do that. It's a different world now. It's a different time now. Before the pandemic, there was a lot of acoustic. If you didn't, if you noticed, I for one, I wasn't into it. Strangely, but that's my personal opinion. People like it. That's fine. I wasn't into it. I've always felt that this is my personal opinion, so don't shoot me for it.
Of course.
Yeah, I've always felt that it's watered down. That's what I felt. Yeah, I always felt it's watered down, and especially if you don't have the quality to carry the song, it's even worse, right?
Yes.
It sounds so thin, it sounds empty, and then it's dreary. It's a little bit dreary as well, and then and it's a little bit like not sleepy, but it's tiring lah. So there isn't that energy to it,
Yes.
Yeah, it's so different, from standing and singing than sitting and
Correct.
flipping the page or your iPad or whatever. There is a big difference lah.
Yeah.
There's a big difference. Of course, there are one or two exceptional performers who are like, wow, fantastic. But otherwise, yeah lah. And there's a lot of varsity kids coming up, which is good. I mean, they're all into music, but yeah lah, there wasn't anything much to shout about lah, in a sense lah.
I like this, John, because it's candid and you're being frank, and that's how it is, right?
Yeah.
And that's your opinion is brilliant, right?
I think now at this age, I'm not so worried about. I used to be very careful when I was saying, but now, I mean, if it's dreary, it's dreary lah. I mean, that's the way that it is lah.
I want to ask you this because you were saying just now about certain things that might happen in the future. So what's happening with John Molina presently, and with the Krueger plans and things like that?
Okay, earlier on, I was saying that I haven't done anything in that sense. That's because I was waiting, but this durian is not going to drop anytime soon. But I have been rehearsing actually recently. I'm back to rehearsals about a month ago.
Nice.
I'm back to rehearsals with the boys, getting just in touch with them, and I think that it should be so I'm looking forward to the next gig. I think it's March the 19th.
Nice.
March the 19th is our first gig. I can't say where now because they're sending me the details. But that's our first.
Is it an
gig.
outdoor thing?
Outdoor thing.
Okay.
Outdoor thing.
Okay.
So that's in line with some ministry, I think so.
Okay.
So, but that one, the details will come on Facebook and all that. That one's later on. But so that's what I'm looking forward. And there's another gig coming on in some Merdeka thingy. Okay. Yeah, that's in Sentosa. That will be in the school holidays, April or May lah, something like that lah, along those lines. So these are the things I'm looking forward to. Obviously, I mean, the most ideal would be going back on stage. I mean, that would be, I would jump into it lah. Yeah.
Please do, man. I'm waiting, and a couple of friends as well waiting for that. In terms of businesses, anything maybe?
Actually, to be really honest, right? I took my property license 6 years ago.
What?
I took it and I parked it.
So you are qualified?
I am qualified. I retook my O levels again just to take up property. Yeah. So and I did it not because of anything, because I was interested. I was interested at that time. Very, very interested in property, and I could see myself selling, or doing real estate work lah. In that sense lah. So this is something that I am still, toying with, and I'm trying to put it together to see how I can move forward. With this lah.
Nice.
So that is something that I'm looking to, because I think this is a long term. I mean, I can't sing forever, right?
Yeah.
So it is something that I could do. It's a skill because because in property, in real estate, it's a whole slew of knowledge that you need to have in order for you to survive in this market. Yeah.
Good luck with that, man.
Thank you so much.
I really hope you do well, and start first. You got to start, man. Come on.
Taufik Batisa.
Oh, yes.
He's doing very well
Right.
in property, you know.
Why not, man? And maybe act in Kin or something. The last few episodes. Get
Why
Mel
not?
in, man. Ask Mel lah.
Mel is still there.
Yeah.
Mel's still kicking ass, man.
Quick fire round, my
Sure,
friend.
bro.
Right? Easy peasy for you.
Sure.
The first one, very easy.
Mm.
What's the favorite song that you performed?
Wow, you say very easy, ah. Oh my gosh, bro. You just stumped me with this one, man.
Favorite. Not easiest, not hardest. Favorite.
I would say it's a U2, U2 lah, a U2
Okay,
song lah.
right.
And I think it would be Stay.
Stay.
I love Stay.
Nice.
Yeah.
The next question is actually related. Your favorite band of all time?
My favorite band of all time would be...
Oh, that's tough, right?
Oh my gosh. Because I'm not doing justice to the rest that I love as well.
No, you gotta pick one, man.
I have only one, huh?
No. You can't sit on the fence.
I would say U2 again.
Okay, great. The hardest song that you perform, and then you after the song you say, shit, man, this song.
Bohemian Rhapsody.
Oh, that's tough, man.
That's a really tough. So it took us hours and hours and lots of airtime. I mean, you need stage time. Sorry.
Okay.
Yeah.
Nice. Okay, a rock band that's famous and successful, but you have never fancied them at all.
Famous and successful, but I've never fancied them at all.
Yeah.
Famous and successful. I would say it has to be Foo Fighters. Foo Fighters.
Wow, I've got to ask you why, man.
Yeah, because they're famous and they're
What?
they're really no, but Foo Fighters is one of the best
Yeah.
bands in the world.
Okay.
But they're pure rock and roll band, right? But I don't know. It's just something.
So it just doesn't fancy. It's just a
Yeah.
preference, lah.
Yeah, it's just preference. Yeah, I love them, but there isn't anything. Yeah.
Great, man. This is interesting. Great.
Strange, right?
Yeah.
A lot of people are gonna kill me with Foo Fighters like Dave Grohl. He's the best.
Yeah, man. Eddie Vedder or Kurt Cobain?
Eddie.
John Bon Jovi, Steven Tyler, or Axl Rose?
Bon Jovi.
Lovely. Best part of performing on stage? The best part?
The best part performing on stage, the appreciation from the audience. That's the best.
The worst
That's the
part?
sweetest. The worst part when people playing their freaking phones.
They could be recording you, know.
Yeah, I've seen like 4 guys sitting right in front. What the hell are you even here for? Get the...
I hear you, man. I hear you. Get the hell out of here, man. Shit. Last thing you do before you go to bed?
Last thing I do before I go to bed,
Hey, this one, don't say X-rated stuff, ah.
I play with this game.
Oh, what game is that?
It's like a Scrabble. It's like a Scrabble game.
Word-
It's a word game.
ah.
Yeah, word game.
Okay.
Really?
Fernando Torres or Robbie Fowler?
Torres.
Stevie Gerrard or Van Dijk?
Oh, Stevie Gerrard, man.
Klopp or Dalglish?
Wow. Wow, bro, that one you too much already. Wow, both are. Oh my gosh.
Think first, before you answer.
God, I would say Dalglish. I've got an old heart.
Beautiful. Something about yourself that we don't know.
That I don't know.
No, nobody else know lah.
Something about myself. Oh gosh.
I don't know. Maybe you fart 100 times a day or something like that.
I do that too.
Okay.
Oh yeah. Actually, quite a number of people know lah. I takut hantu lah. I'm scared of ghosts lah.
Oh, okay. But you don't see ghosts every day.
No lah, I don't lah. But
you're scared of the dark and everything.
yeah. So friends
Okay.
will always tease me about it.
Interesting. Someone you want to meet, but you haven't met yet.
Someone that I would love to meet, but I haven't met yet. Ooh. I would say. Wow, this is hard, man. That I haven't met yet, that I would love to meet.
Yes.
But everybody that I don't expect to meet, and when I meet them, I'm actually starstruck. Or
Oh, okay. Like who, lah? Like who?
I have over like Bon Jovi. When I met him, I was like,
Wow.
starstruck. Yeah. Okay, wait, let me think. Maybe Bono. Yeah.
Okay.
Because he's very
You went for the concert here in Singapore?
course.
Yeah.
Of course. I mean, he's a legend. He's old and
It
all
was
that,
it was like a show, right? It's
was
like
like a show.
it's not a concert, right? It's like a with
It's like a
the
show.
backdrop, you
Yeah.
saw the backdrop.
Yeah, fantastic, right?
Yeah.
It was great. Yeah.
Class.
Did you go?
Yes.
Yeah, you were there, right?
Class. Okay, this one is the last question, but it's a very you got to think properly before you answer, okay?
Okay.
Right?
Gosh.
Your favorite podcast at the moment?
Oh, the SilverFox Hustle. Without a doubt. This man.
Okay, John, before we wrap up, right? Your advice for anyone starting a band and wanting to be a frontman, as accomplished as you, any advice?
You have to be patient.
Okay.
Okay, I think that's really important. You have to be patient. You have to believe in yourself. You have to be a team player. Because no man is an island, right? You, especially your bandmates, you got to work with them. I've made the mistake of being a dickhead, with my band when I first started out, and that hasn't transpired very well, over time. But you need to be a team player. I think that's super important. Team player, yeah.
Brilliant advice, and I haven't heard of that one. People calling you a dickhead.
Yeah. There are lots.
You were. No, you said you were a dickhead, right?
Sometimes still am.
John Molina, thank you so much
for
being
very
here
much, brother.
After all these years, right?
Yeah.
Finally, I got you.
Yeah, we're friends. Actually, we're good friends.
Thank you so much, John.
Thank you so much.
I think this has been a great episode because we talked about the band. And we talked about lessons as well,
about life,
about businesses, and as well as about being a frontman. We talk about the stage presence. We talk about just whacking about lyrics, and that is something that you learn as well.
Along the way.
The experience, and there's loads you can take from this episode. So again, thank you very much, and I wish you all the best for your coming
much.
Gig, and hopefully with the selling of houses and stuff.
That's something I really want to do. So
lovely. This has been episode number 63, and don't forget, please follow the podcast. Subscribe to it. Leave your comments behind as well, and leave a review. Right? We are out on YouTube. Just search and subscribe, right? Till the next episode, which is episode number 64, The Hustle Beats Talent, when talent doesn't hustle. Cheers.